Remember, this is a rule. Take this as a rule. And now you will see it with your own eyes. When somebody cherry picks something from the religion of Islam, independent from its context, from the other ayat of the subject itself, from the ahadith, and starts making claims and so on, this is the way of the people who have deviated, the people of misguidance, and the people of bid'ah, innovation within religion. So what they do is they take one hadith, or they take one ayah, or they take one incident, so on and so forth, as if it is the only thing that we should look on. However, the ulama, the true ulama, الراسخون في العلم, the people who are heavily rooted in ilm, they tell you that when you look upon a certain issue within Islam, you bring all the evidence for it. We look at the Quran and all the ayat that have to do with this certain issue. The same thing with the ahadith. So we don't look at the ayah independent of all the other ayahs. No, we bring all the other ayahs and we bring the ahadith as well. We don't take just one hadith, for example, independent from the Quran and independent from the other ahadith. No, we bring also the ayat in regards to this subject and also the other ahadith. And our Shaykh, Shaykh Al-Allama, Falah Mundakar, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him, he always explained that we do the same thing with the ulama. So we don't go on one incident and we see what one alim or one shaykh said and we say, here you go. This is what the alim said concerning this. We bring everything that he said. Why? Everything that he said in regards to this subject that he's talking about. Why is that? Because sometimes the sheikh might be speaking about what? Might speaking about the subject in general terms. He didn't go into detail. And once he goes into detail, you can see what he truly believes and so on and so forth. But the people of bid'ah, they do the opposite of this. They say, look, Shaykh Al-Albani said so and so. Look, Shaykh bin Uthaymeen said so and so. We say, what about this 1 minute video? What about the details that he has given in other places? They don't touch upon it. And that way, they put them on the internet saying what? Saying, look, the mashayikh are contradicting themselves. No, they're not. They're not contradicting themselves. They are speaking in general here, and in the other occasion, they are going into detail. So we have to put everything in context. That here's what he said in general terms, and here he went into detail. So this is his aqidah. That's one thing, or this is what he sees on this matter. So this is number one. Number two, the sheikh might have said something before and then he changed it later on or before he dies. So we don't bring just one thing that the sheikh said, because maybe he changed his position. Maybe he saw that this is wrong and then he has corrected himself and so on. So that is why everything has to be brought together. So the same thing with zakah, and now you will see with your own eyes. Now you will see with your own eyes. When it comes to money and gold and silver, we give zakah. How much do we give? 1/4. Look, subhanallah, look how Islam, how easy, how Islam makes everything easy. Not even 1/10 of what you get. No, quarter of the 1/10 of the money itself. 1/4, not even 1/10. طيب. Do we do the same thing with plants and with grains and so on? And do we do the same thing? We give 1/4. No. Do we do the same thing with animals? No. Subhanallah. You see, if we took only the hadith that the zakah is 1/4, and we take it and we don't bring the other ahadith, what happens? What happens? We make the wrong zakah. We make the wrong zakah because there's a zakah which is what? 1/10. And there is a zakah which is half of the 1/10, and so on and so forth. So we have to look at this is a complete religion. It is not, there is no messing around, there is no toying and manipulating. So it is not just in zakah that we look at all the ayat and all the ahadith that concern the subject at hand, meaning zakah. No, in every other term, when it comes to every subject and term in Islam, what we will do is we will look at all the evidence that we have. Subhanallah. Subhanallah, even at courts, people do the same thing. At courts, they look at all the evidence. They don't just cherry pick one evidence or one thing and then they draw the picture and the conclusion and the verdict and the ruling based on that. Subhanallah. But nowadays we see this happening. Wallahi, I've seen this happening. Subhanallah. They bring general terms. They say, look, Shaykh bin Uthaymeen said so and so, which is not the saying of Shaykh bin Uthaymeen, because on multiple occasions, Shaykh bin Uthaymeen what? Goes into detail and shows his aqidah. Subhanallah. And the same thing when it comes to rulings. Subhanallah. They cherry pick, just cherry pick one hadith and they say, look, this is the hadith, this is the ruling, that's it. As if there aren't any other ahadith or ayat talking about this subject. Subhanallah. So let's be careful of that. Be very careful from these du'at that are misguiding you rather than guiding you and really looking for the truth and studying and analyzing and so on and so forth. Be very careful of that. Naam.